There is an emergency on Isle Pedro. The MCU and Star Wars have some cleaning up to do. They've got to fix the image of one of their most controversial and perhaps disliked stars, upon which billions of dollars have been invested. Today we're talking about Peepaw. We're talking about the internet's daddy. Now they're calling him the king of streaming. But is it true? We'll tell you right now. Hello and welcome back. Yet again, another video of excellence on the way, ladies and gentlemen, with talent on loan from Walt. We're telling you about the Pedro Pascal phenomenon that's happening all across the internet. At least that's what the article writers want you to believe. But we'll tell you what true popularity is, what it looks like, and who is this thing they wish Pedro could be. Click the like button, and off we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the effort to rehabilitate Pedro Pascal is now here. The panel didn't know we were going to talk about this.
Not on.
Yep. They got to get him saved because Pedro is on the way with Star Wars and Marvel. And so Rehabilitation, here we come. From comicbookmovie.com. No, it's just comicbook.com. Niall Gray says Pedro Pascal is now the king of streaming. He's not just the internet's daddy, he's the king of streaming.
I would say he's the queen of streaming, but...
Let's find out what it means. Here we go. And folks, this is not the only article. There is a deluge of pro-Pedro articles suddenly have arrived. And you know what's on my mind when I see stuff like that, when I see a sudden deluge of commentary all in the same direction, my eyebrows begin to twitch. In recent years, it has been hard not to consider Pedro Pascal one of the world's biggest acting stars. Rising from obscurity after a brief stint on Game of Thrones, the actor's star has only continued to rise, with several prominent roles in major projects catapulting him to global superstardom. I wish they'd catapult him somewhere else. After starring as Joel in The Last of Us and earning considerable critical acclaim, Pascal also appeared in the Star Wars franchise, doing the voice acting for The Mandalorian. He's had roles on other stuff. You can see all that. With some of Pedro's best movies being released in 2025, it's hardly surprising that he can now also claim to be the king of streaming. According to Flix Patrol, I told you, this is everywhere. They're all reporting this stuff. 2 of Pedro Pascal's 2025 movies have now topped streaming charts. So, folks, what is it that Pedro has done that's made him not only the internet's daddy, not only the grandpapa of Hollyweird, but also the streaming king? Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, that box office flop.
The movie that bombed is what makes him the king of streaming. Good Lord.
Now, how did that happen? Why did they say? Because it hit #1 on Disney Plus.
Oh, for the love of...
as the most streamed movie globally.
So this is what Rachel Zegler said last week.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Marvin. Exactly. Folks, do you know what it means when they put it this way? Do you know what it means when they have this many caveats? It means that it didn't beat Bluey.
Mm-hmm.
Just a normal week for Bluey beats the Fantastic Four. That's why they say it's the #1 streaming movie on Disney Plus globally. You always count the adjectives. You always count the qualifiers. And then the 2025 rom-com Materialists is the most watched movie on HBO Max for some time, somewhere, some way, right? But lest you think, oh, no, this is just one example. We go to Collider. Adam Blevins. Pedro Pascal's $200 million sleeper hit stretches past streaming competition. Pedro Pascal's superhero debut in Marvel's final movie of the year has become an instant streaming success. At the end of July, Pascal teamed up with Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and the guy who was very offensive to play Fantastic Four, followed the critically acclaimed Thunderbolts. But this one, baby, it was a win. With a $200 million budget, the film grossed $521 at the global box office. Marvel would have liked to see more, but the film did okay, all things considered. No, and no again. It flopped. It needed at least $600 million to break even. It did not. So what does this article go on to say? It's a huge win. Pedro is back again, baby. They should make even more Fantastic Four. You all know the answer to that. And even more stuff for you, ladies and gentlemen. It keeps coming. It keeps raining Pedro down on us. I apologize. But Louis Glazebrook has gone so far as to say Star Wars has failed Pedro. And this article out of Screen Rant is all about how, Star Wars just hasn't lived up to Pedro. It really hasn't. And it goes on to talk about how the chances here for Lucasfilm to fix this flaw, they can leave us all in awe if simply the Mandalorian movie will rise to the level of Mr. Pascal. Guys, it's everywhere, all over the internet. Folks can Google Pedro and go see the sudden rise in articles that are being generated about him. I always think this is synthetic when it happens. Culture, I go to you first on this. I sense that there's a need now to rehabilitate this man's image after all the weirdness of Fantastic Four. It did not perform like they needed it to. And they got to fix this because Disney's two biggest boy brand franchises depend on people caring about this man.
Yeah, this is Bolshevik revolution all over the place. This is complete baloney sausage. Nobody cares two wits about this guy. He's failed at everything he's done. Ultimately, he started out nicely after Game of Thrones with the Mandalorian, but they long abandoned the actual heart of the Mandalorian years ago, and nobody has any hype for the upcoming film. Nobody cares. Literally, no one cares. A lot of people don't even know it's coming out still. And I don't care about it. I don't know anybody in my life that cares about this movie. So they have to rehab it to try to make this thing seem relevant. It's not relevant. It's not even interesting. They kind of destroyed this brand when they got rid of their actual strong, powerful woman. And I think that really put a bad taste in anybody's mouth who was a big fan of this show. Except for the super shill pixie dust huffers out there. And yeah, you're right, Pro. They have to try to rehabilitate this dude because they put him in everything. And they need to extract him from everything if they want anything to be successful again. He is the quiet underperformer, or he was until now. He's a character actor at best. He's not a movie star or a leading man. And that's been shown to be the truth, not only from his poor performance in Mandalorian and his inability to carry it, but also the Fantastic Four, which is very much a box office flop. I think this is probably, it's Matt's article, Matt McGloin.
But they can't allow him to be pegged with this, though, Culture. It can't be on him. He can't be the one who caused audiences to revolt. But because if that's the case, then they lose both these two films. So they've got to start the PR play. That's why they have to say Star Wars failed him.
But they set him up for failure because they pushed him out front. This is the same thing you do in politics. If you're trying to destroy an opponent, you put them out front and you promote, the whatever virtues you can find on them, and because you already have a pile of dirt over here with which to bury them. And that's that's a setup.
It's so much more than that because this was the summer of Pedro, of the anti-Pedro. Like this was the summer. This was the summer where the universe turned on him, where he went from being like this beloved figure in some circles to just being exposed. First of all, as a box office flop, because Fantastic Four was not his only flop this summer. I think he had at least 3, if not 4, flopped movies this year. And there was all that controversy about the way he acts with his co-stars, the way he's always touching up on all the women, how, like all of that stuff about Pedro. And on top of that, I just saw, because I'm looking up this because I want to do an article on all this, Us Weekly just posted 4 days ago another one of those inside Sarah Paulson and Pedro Pascal's 30-year friendship timeline because of that clip from months ago where Pedro was rubbing up on Sarah Paulson and everyone thought it was creepy. They put out an article about that the next day. Because Disney has over $2 billion of box office, earmarked for this guy between The Mandalorian and Grogu and Secret Wars / Doomsday. So this is the reality of the situation. We are going to see them try to push him again because I think they figure enough time has gone by. People aren't thinking about the fact that, he was touching up on Bella Ramsey. He was touching up on
Marvin, you ever noticed the women don't seem to mind? I mean, they're weirded out a little bit, but they wonder what's going on behind the scenes that would make them not mind. Huh.
Maybe people saying you have to not mind.
Maybe.
He's also rubbing up on Oscar Isaac. So
yeah. You're drifting towards what I'm trying to say. Hey, Ron. Ron says, "What a segue."
Unthreatening.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, they've got billions of dollars riding on Pedro Pascal. Not the kind of guy that I would lay my investments on, but that's what's happened. I would suggest that if this PR rehabilitation plan doesn't work for Pedro, if they can't resuscitate his career, then they're going to look in the rearview mirror after Star Wars and Avengers Doomsday. He's going to get the Rachel Zegler treatment if they can't fix this. Yeah, and I mean, he has actually earned it by, the way he's put himself out there. And, unless Disney wants to lean into it and somehow the Mandalorian, instead of getting the, what's the special dark saber, instead of getting the dark saber, he gets the rainbow saber and he dances with it in the movie. Maybe they'll lean hard into that. I don't know, but
here's the thing with Zegler. With Zegler, it was fine that Zegler torched her own career, torched her movie, because they had nothing else with Zegler coming out at that point after Snow White. So that was why it was okay for the media to suddenly turn on Zegler. Before now, they're trying to build her back up again. Pedro, they were like, people can't hate this guy. We've got too much coming out with him in it.
Yeah, right. He's not allowed to be dismissed with yet. They're stuck with him for right now. But that won't be the case forever. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Pedro fever for the next 6 months. And then they're going to dump him if he can't do what they need him to do. And what they need him to do is get boys to the cinemas. But I don't see there's no indication to me that Pedro has, I have never heard, a 12, 13-year-old kid say, "Oh, I love Pedro Pascal. I love everything he's in." They don't know him. They don't know him. He's better as the Mandalorian when he's got the helmet on and you don't see his face.
You can forget that it's him.
Right. He just kind of dissolves into it. And the first 2 seasons of the show, especially with the supporting character of Cara Dune, were fantastic. And then it just went off the rails. And I actually liked him in what was the
Narcos? Narcos.
No, it was the comedy that he did with Nick Cage. It was the Nick Cage comedy where Nick Cage was making fun of himself as his celebrity was kind of funny just because it was satirical. But I just think he's too. It's not his weird behavior has only been caught because he's so out there and in everything. He's overused more than The Rock was overused for a long time, and I just think that his star is not shining as bright as it once was. I don't see any interest in the Mandalorian Grogu movie. I haven't heard a lot of buzz about it. It's just kind of out. It's going to exist, but. People already bought the toys, and there's not really any new toys to be had with Baby Yoda. So, what's going to happen with that? I have no idea. Plus, when it comes to the Avengers, that's a complete mess right now. Absolutely. People try to come to this channel. They want insights that they won't find anywhere else, and I'd like to provide that to people. To give you an idea of who's hot and who's not in Hollywood, it's not Pedro, and here's why. Despite the fact that Pedro Pascal has been in Gladiator 2, despite the fact that he's been in Wonder Woman, despite the fact that he has been in the Fantastic Four, a Marvel movie, and he's going to be in more, the average box office film, if every movie that Pedro has been in, the average that they make at the box office, an average Pedro film is $201 million. Okay? And that's despite being in some big ones. All right. What does it look like to be popular, though? Really popular? Chris Pratt, who they never tell us is the internet's daddy. They never say that Chris Pratt is the internet's papa. They never tell us that he's the king of streaming. They never tell us that he's the box office bonanza. Chris Pratt, the average box office haul for a Chris Pratt movie, $564 million, more than $500 million. More than double Pedro. So if you want it quantified, how much more popular is somebody like Chris Pratt versus Pedro? Double. Wow. This is what they're trying to fix with Pedro. They're in trouble having this guy lead. It should be Chris Pratt in charge of these kind of franchises. And I came up with other guys that we could use, okay? You could put Tom Holland in charge of some of this stuff. But instead, they're putting all their eggs, their Star Wars and Marvel eggs are in the Pedro Pascal basket. And that's not a place to have them be. Guys, final thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, look, he is everything that they want, much like Zegler, and which is why the two of them are so infatuated with each other. They are basically the same coin here because they are exactly what Hollywood wants in a major motion picture star, because they say the right political things. They check all the right boxes. And unfortunately, what Hollywood wants and what the audience wants are two completely different things. And what Hollywood wants doesn't generate money. And you got to follow the money. And they are desperate, though, to try to save Pedro, because Disney has, like I said, so much invested. The future of Marvel, the future of Star Wars, both of their big brands that they have destroyed now lay in the lap of a man who...
That sounds terrifying.
I know. Intentionally.
Look at Ron.
now lay in the lap of this man who nobody wants around. So we're going to see what happens.
Please get the boy franchises out of the lap of Pedro, please. We beg of thee, Disney. Folks, it's time to bid you adieu, but we hope that you will help us anew, and that is, we're only asking you click that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, have you gone the way of thatparkplace.com? www.thatparkplace.com. It's the website that if you're not yet bookmarked to, well, you should be. A bastion of truth and knowledge when it comes to entertainment and everything that's going on. Go check it out today, folks. We would love to have you over there as well. All right, we are getting ready to head out, but do not fret, for we will put out 4 more videos tomorrow, so long as the good Lord allows. And we believe that probably, just might, happen. All right, until the next time we get to share time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.